So WWDC is finally over, and honestly, I think a lot of us went into this event with pretty high expectations. Not only was it Apple's 50th anniversary, but it was also Tim Cook's last WWDC as the current CEO. So naturally, people were expecting something huge. And while I don't think that Apple hit every single thing that the people were hoping for, I don't think that this was a bad event at all. Personally, I'm excited about some of the announcements that I made. So instead of trying to recap every single feature that Apple showed us, I just wanted to focus on the updates that I'm really excited to use. So I tried to divide this into categories, and the category number one, it's gonna be the foundation. I think the biggest thing to understand for this year's announcements is that everything starts with iOS 27, because whether you're talking about the devices like the iPhone, Apple Watch, iPad, etc., or the features like the new Siri AI or Apple Intelligence, they're all built on top of this new iOS. And I just wanted to say that I do not have the beta, and I don't think I'll be upgrading in the meantime. I'll wait until it's finally released, because I just want to see the final product, and I want to have basically what was promised to us. But visually, Apple introduced a new liquid glass design that expands across the entire ecosystem. And honestly, I think that it does look fresh while still feeling familiar, because with this update, you get to choose how much transparency or how much liquidy you want your view, basically. And I feel like it's one of those updates that makes your devices feel more modern without completely changing how you use your devices. Apple is also talking about how they focused on speed and stability this year. Things like app launches and AirDrop are gonna be up to 80% faster, and it's something that I literally cannot wait. Personally, AirDrop has been very underperforming recently, especially when trying to share from devices with different iCloud accounts. So for example, me trying to share something to a friend, it does take a lot of tries before the pictures can go through. But if I do try to share within my own devices, like from my phone to my Mac, it goes really fast. So I think that they can do something in order to improve the way that we share pictures from one account to another one. So yeah, this is one of the improvements that I appreciate the most. Nothing flashy, nothing really new, but making what we have already better. On the second category, we have the Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence is getting pretty significant upgrades this year. There's now some more contextual awareness. We're now gonna have the smarter Siri. We're gonna have a dedicated Siri app where we can access our conversations with Siri, and there are so many other things. Now, personally, I'm probably not gonna use every single AI feature that Apple introduces, but I do notice that I like Apple's approach of integrating AI into things people already do every single day. Instead of forcing entirely new workflows, we're getting this Apple Intelligence seamlessly integrated onto our phone and onto everything that we do. So I'm really curious to see how these features evolve once people start using them outside of the demos, because if we see the demo one more time, we can appreciate, or we can see how slow it was behaving. So I'm hoping that once it's finally released, this is something that is gonna go smoother, and something that a lot of people are gonna be able to just, again, use seamlessly. The next category is gonna be HomeKit updates. I am really big on HomeKit as I've been trying to build a Apple smart home for a long time at this point. So I'm really excited because Apple HomeKit is finally receiving some great upgrades. The biggest one for me is definitely the 4K support for HomeKit Secure Video. Again, this is a huge deal for people who are invested in Apple smart home ecosystem. But the Home app is also receiving a refreshed camera interface, making it easier to monitor cameras, review events, and more. And oh my god, there is the new notification system. Thanks to Apple Intelligence, we can now get group notifications or like smart notifications. Instead of getting like 1,000 different notifications for like the movement has been detected, somebody rang the doorbell, you're gonna get one notification that's gonna give you constantly evolves. And I do think that this is one of the smart home improvements that I like, and I honestly never thought about, but I feel like it's going to be amazing. You're gonna have less noise, so basically less notifications, but you're gonna get more useful information. The next category, I named it the ecosystem gets better, because overall there's gonna be a lot of bunch of smaller ecosystem improvements that I think they're actually really important. One of the features that I absolutely love and I'm looking forward to use the most is the ability for people without Apple devices to contribute photos or videos directly to shared iCloud albums or collections. That might sound small, but if you ever planned a trip or a gathering with family or friends, we know how difficult it can be for us to share images with that person who does not have an iPhone. So I do feel like it's gonna be really impactful. It's gonna be really great. WatchOS, iPadOS, and macOS are also receiving upgrades, which all include the Apple Intelligence integration and basically the redesigned app experience. We're now also getting AirPods custom EQ, which basically allows us to further customize how our AirPods sound by adjusting the lows, the mids, and the highs right within your settings. And honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I enjoy using Apple products is how well everything works together. And this year's updates are focused on making those connections even stronger. So the next category, I feel like is to me one of the most important announcements that nobody's talking about, and I think that it deserves a lot more of attention. It's Apple expansion of women health tools. The Health app can now help identify patterns that might indicate perimenopause, provide symptom tracking, educational resources, and even integrate with new Fitness Plus programs. This isn't a feature that I won't be using in the near future, but I do believe that we all have that one person in our life, whether it's a parent, a spouse, friend, or a coworker that might be going through this life stage and might find this helpful, or it could even be yourself watching this video, because let's be honest, we're not gonna be 25 forever. And I personally think that technology should be used this way to help people. In this case, help people understand their health. And yeah, it is nice to see how Apple is continuing to invest in areas that can make a real difference on people's lives. Overall, I think that WWDC is going to age better than people's initial reactions suggest. Was it the biggest WWDC ever? Probably not. I believe that last year when they first introduced us to Apple Intelligence, maybe they made a bigger impact. Did Apple announce every feature that people wanted? Also, no, I don't think so. But I do think that they're laying the foundation for a stronger ecosystem, a smarter home, and more thoughtful experiences across all of the devices. And honestly, those are usually the updates that end up mattering the most 6 months later, 1 year from now. Let me know what your favorite announcement was, and I'll see you next time.